All right, we're live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with Katie Stroman, right?
Yep,
All
Stroman,
right,
you
I
got
got
it
it
right.
right. Yes. That's the hardest part of the podcast is getting it right. Katie's been amazing. We've been working together on Facebook, and I saw one of her video posts that she's done, and I loved it. It was really great. She was talking about a snake in the forest, and we're going to hopefully talk about that snake in the forest here today with Katie. As you know, on the 5-Minute Bark, we are creative, we're inspiring people, and we've got her today, and she's going to tell you a little about her, and because she's got an interesting twist that she's got going on here that I like, and we just talked about before the podcast.
Yeah.
So, Katie, introduce yourself to the world of 5-Minute Bark, the inspired nation of Cody Dog's 5-Minute Bark.
Yeah. Well, Dennis, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome.
A little bit nervous too, but definitely more excited than nervous.
Off. That's all right. Yeah, woo!
I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I've been a massage therapist now for the last 12 years. I've had my own business for the last 4 of those years. Over the last year or so, I got into life coaching, and
I love that.
Yeah. So it's been exciting. It's been fun. I've always been into personal development. I've read a lot of books. I've been to some Tony Robbins seminars.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
You
should have took me.
You got the red on. You're ready for the fire walk.
I'm ready. Whoa. Yeah, I'm ready. So
yeah.
Awesome. So that must have been a great experience. That must have really got the fire going in you to give, right?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely got me thinking about, after year of doing massage therapy and building these relationships with my clients. And I live in an area, it's very corporate. So a lot of my clients come in, they're so burned out. And, I've read so many books on the mind-body connection and just realizing that it may not be enough to just treat them physically, that if they don't have some sort of shift in their lifestyle or in their mindset, it's going to affect them physically. Yeah.
I really like that concept too, because you're right. You're basically touching these human beings. You're intimate with them. You're spending an hour and a half with them, trying to make them a better person.
Yeah.
And now we're learning more than ever before the fact that it's just one little thing is not enough. It has to be a number of different things that connect at the same time. So it's mind, body, spirit, all these things have to be combined to make that change, right? We just think we can just go change by doing just maybe a diet. Well, it's not just diet, it's diet and mental. It's not just like massage therapy, it's massage therapy and mental, because they have to leave that place relaxed. They have to leave that place coming into a new place, right? So
yeah. Absolutely. And if they don't work on those other areas, then they're just, every time they come back, they're just going to have the same issues over and over. And I know when we were in massage school, they made it sound so simple, like you do this technique and that technique, and you get the trigger points out, and then they're all good. And it really, after 12 years of doing this, I can say it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately.
No, I've only been to a massage like 3 or 4 times in my life. Very, very, very minimal.
Oh, wow.
I should be doing it more. I'm actually an ex-athlete, so
yeah,
it would take you like months to work out the bumps and bruises I get in my body.
Yeah.
But every time I go, I feel bad for the person's hands because it's just so worked up. But
yeah.
So tell us more about some of the clients you've been working with and the success you've had and all that good stuff, the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Some client stories.
Well, you don't have to talk about specific clients, just general changes you've had in people's lives because of your life coaching.
Yeah. Well, I will say some of my clients don't even realize that I'm doing coaching with them, because they'll come in, they'll be on the table, and some of them are more talkative, and they'll start telling me about something that unfolded at work. And so I'll start asking them empowering questions, and, they'll start like getting these insights around it. And then they leave here and they're both like, physically and mentally shifted.
Awesome.
And then I usually get an email the next day or something like, wow, that was really great. I went into work today. I was able to say this and that. It turns out it was no big deal. And now I'm working on this project and everything is great.
Right.
So that's how I've been.
How do you feel? How do you feel when you get that email? How do you feel?
Oh, it's so amazing.
When somebody sends me a message or something like that, so Dennis, I listened to your podcast and this happened and so on and so forth. It's like, wow, I did my job. Because really in the end, I mean, I used to be, again, a speaker and so on and so forth, but it was more on the athletic side. I would always tell my crowd, if if I change one of your lives out of these thousands of people in front of me, I've done my job. But to get the fact of getting that email for you must be exciting. I know it is for me. I mean, I'm not really a life coach, but I am kind of not really, whatever it is I am. I'm a podcaster that inspires people, right? Or gets people on my show to inspire others, whatever it is. I'm not going to put a name on it. I just want to do what I do. But it's just exciting to get that. So congratulations on getting those.
Yeah.
That's awesome, right? It makes you feel good. And that's what you're out to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So tell us where you want to go with it. Where do you want to go with the coaching? What's your ultimate goal with it? And some of the techniques maybe you might want to implement, because obviously from a different side than a regular life coach was, because you already work with the people physically.
Yeah, that's so true. That's a great point, because I really love that connection I have with my clients, just being able to share that with them on that level. And I wanted to maintain that in some way. And I really like to create a whole experience around my massage versus just like, okay, here's a table in a room. We're going to do some oil. We're going to work this muscle and you're done. I want to create an experience. And I feel like with the coaching, I want to bring that same one-on-one connection and that intimacy. And I want to create an experience for them. I want to hold a space for them to open up. And for me, I've really found this style of coaching that's like a really deep, powerful style.
Yes, I noticed.
The one where it's like hide nothing, hold nothing back. That really excites me. Yeah. So first, I've just been living that for myself.
Right.
So like even starting right now.
Yeah, good.
I will tell you right now.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because one of the things I've really become aware of is that I've always felt like, what do I have to offer the world? Like, what message do I have of value to give? And so that's like something that I wouldn't want you or anybody else to know right now, because it's like, because I'm here on a podcast. Yeah. So why would I be, But I also realized that that's not necessarily true. And so it's like, what can I do to show up differently? So everybody listening right now has some sort of fear, some sort of place where they're being held back. It might not have anything to do with being a guest on a podcast,
right?
But there is an area that you're afraid of and that's holding you back. And when you can just show up anyway, like I'm doing right now.
Well, you just gave me, and excuse me for jumping in, but I wanted to get this. You just gave me a new look at things right now. It just kind of came by this hearing you. I'm kind of seeing a room, and people decide in their life to change, and they open the door and they go in this room and they finally find people out there that just want to talk to them. They want to share with them, that want to listen to them, right? Because we're all going past these doors and we're not opening them up because we don't want to know what's inside them. We don't want to share our difficulties. We don't want to share what we're struggling about, our financial, our emotions, our, oh my God, this happened and it just hurt me for life. Nobody wants to share that. But then when you realize you open that door and just it all lets go and you're like in this room and everybody there, you can say anything you want. And now you're just like, you're open, right, to the world.
Yes.
And I think a lot of what you're trying to do is along that lines. Cause I love the snake story. Now, I don't know if, obviously these people on my podcast didn't see it. So I don't know if you want to share that right now. That was kind of a really good story. Let's share this. This is the snake story that we met on,
okay.
So on Facebook. You got
I would love to. I would love to share that.
Go.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's basically an analogy, and it's like, it starts off by saying, imagine you're walking down in the woods, down a path, and you see a snake. You start freaking out because you're afraid of snakes.
Right, I am.
And
I'm very afraid of them.
Yeah, so you're in a panic, you know.
I'm afraid of it.
And then you see that somehow like the light adjusts, the shadow moves or something, and then you realize it's just a rope. So, imagine like how relieved you would be, and you may even start laughing and think, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I thought that was a snake. It was just a rope." And that's how different situations in life are. We approach them and we're so stressed out and we're thinking it's the end of the world and it's the worst thing that could ever happen. And, if you can have that shift in perception, you can see that what once stressed you and terrified you is really actually just laughable.
Yep. Or just a shadow, right?
It's just a shadow.
You know,
Yeah.
I have a story to share that's really similar to that one. I was over a person's house. I'm just gonna say person, and they were pretty well off, and they have maids that live there, work there daily. And one of the maids was kind of talking about her personal life, and she was struggling, and she lost her home. She got kicked out of her home, and some stuff happened. And I was sitting there, and she's on the verge of crying. And I stopped her. I go, "Okay, so do you have a place to live right now? I mean, not permanently, but are you have a place you're sleeping right now? And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay. And where are you right now, by the way?" "Well, you're in a $5 million home, and you're amongst very intelligent people." And so I stopped her and I said, "Well, what are you worried about? What's that shadow like you're talking about here? What's a shadow?" And she's like, "Oh my God, you're so right. I'm not sleeping on the streets. I have a place to sleep. I have a place to sleep tonight." And that's really all that matters is to realize that you have everything right in front of you. And it's, we're always trained, I guess, to look in the future and see all this bad, and the world's going to end, and I'm going to lose my job, and I'm going to whatever. And it's really not happening. Like you're saying, it's like, it's just, you laugh and like, why was I thinking about that? Because opportunity can come to us at any moment in time. All you have to do is open this eye, and here it comes. Yeah. So I love that story, and you should keep working on that story and keep it out there and use it as your model, because it's really true. It's a really simple story. Yeah. And also I love your creativity by actually taking the time to go into the woods and do that. So, so if you're looking for a life coach out there, you want somebody that's creative, that's, gonna think in these terms, because it's a whole thing of connecting, right? It's connecting. I have to connect with someone. We kind of talked about that before the podcast. There's so many life coaches out there, and we're going to think of it, both Katie and I think of it as a good thing, not a bad thing. And there's more of them, the more we can adopt ourselves to or learn from. Everybody likes to be taught a different way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So anything else you want to share with us today about some exciting news or some exciting Katie power do you have or something?
Well, I want to share this story that happened to me a few weeks ago. That's really magical.
I'm ready.
And it's about, what we were talking about, being vulnerable, opening yourself up, and getting that connection, having connection with other people. So
go for it.
I was in Miami, first time ever there. It was amazing, by the way. Miami. And I had the day to myself. So I woke up and I was like, I'm going to play full out today. I have no idea what that means, but I made that decision. I'm going to play full out. So I end up down in Miami Beach, and, there's like cafes, shopping, streets, so I'm walking along and I see this man, and everything in me was like, you need to talk to him. And I felt like, really, and then this voice came in, like, you're going to play full out, so you have to do it. So I kind of passed him, and then I waited, and then I was like, I kept fighting. I was like fighting with myself, and then he finally catches up to me. So I'm walking alongside of him, and I just was like, hi, and then he was like, hi. And I have to tell you, he was blind.
Oh, no.
So, so we started having a conversation, and it turns out he's just like the sweetest person. And because he was blind, he's like developed all these his other senses so much more fully. So he had this, like, he was really intuitive, and he was able to like speak to me about all these things. And it was just so powerful. So we kept like walking block after block, and he was just like teaching me all these amazing things. And so at the end, I said, do you mind if I give you a hug? And he said, sure. So I gave him a hug. Awesome. And he said, I have to tell you, no one has hugged me in 10 years. Aww. And it's my birthday today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So
that's the best birthday present ever.
It was. And you know what? For me, it was like, okay, here I am in this city. It's Miami. And I could be off doing all kinds of, like really fancy, maybe even superficial things. But like the most amazing thing I got out of my trip was just spending 20 minutes with him.
Talking.
And, again, it goes back to that wanting to connect, being able to be vulnerable, listening to your intuition, deciding you want to play full out. And then, the magic just happens, and everyone can do that in any day, anywhere you are, wherever it is you are, whatever it is you're doing. So
that is awesome. If we really think about it, from a standpoint of, he doesn't have to worry about a cell phone distracting him. He doesn't have to worry about the internet distracting him. So you must have had one of the most present conversations you've had in a long
Yes.
time, right? Because this guy,
Yeah.
all he wants to do is listen and respond to what you say with genuine answers, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an awesome experience. I admire that. That's like,
Yeah.
the funny, because the person that actually just launched today on our podcast, Lisa, same situation. I was in Starbucks and I was doing some presentations, and she was over next to me talking to this older gentleman. She did the same thing you did. It's funny how this is all working here.
Yeah.
This old gentleman, I just felt like I had to talk to him. So she started talking to him, and I overheard her talking to him, and I didn't want to interject because I didn't want to take the experience away from this older gentleman, because he was like so engaged, and she was a beautiful woman, but she was a personal life coach like yourself.
Okay.
So I just said, excuse me, but I just had to say this, 'cause I'm nervous too. I don't like to talk to people in public. I'm learning. One of my podcasts is about getting out of your comfort zone. I said, I got to do this. I got to do this. So I did it. And I was like, I have an inspirational podcast. And so we started talking after, and sure enough, she came on my show. But I mean, isn't it great, audience?
Yeah.
All right. That both of us here have had experiences where we kind of went outside of our comfort zone, and it just turned into some of the best things that have happened in our life to date. So some exciting experiences come from coming outside your comfort zone and just taking that notice of people around you. Openness. I mean, what if you didn't talk to that gentleman? You wouldn't have this story to talk about, and it probably is in your mind every day.
I'll never forget that man. I won't, you know, and I felt like you were saying how it was so present, and he was able to hear me because he didn't have these distractions. And you know what? Like, I'll say, I felt like he saw me better than anyone else.
Right.
And he was blind, but he did. He saw me. It was so amazing. The things that I learned from him in this 20-minute conversation. And the fact that I went into it thinking, oh, maybe I had something to offer him. But what he really gave me was way more. It was just, it was so beautiful. And I love that you had a similar story, because I think we're all getting this guidance, and we all have this intuition, and we're being told, like, let that person know you like their earrings, or, or ask that person if they want to be on your podcast, or whatever it is. But we ignore it.
Well, let me ask you this question, Katie. Why are we getting that and other people aren't? Why? It's not a trick question.
Everybody gets the guidance. Not everybody listens.
Right. And you're open to it, right?
Yeah, you have to be open.
And
definitely.
I think almost together today, we learned together that almost maybe when we're talking to someone we really care about talking with, we should carry 2 eye covers to walk around and talk to these people. If I want to really have a great conversation with, do you mind if I blindfold you? Because I'm going to blind myself, because I want to actually have a conversation with you. So I'm not looking at my phone or other people or getting distracted. So I can just tunnel in on this great conversation, because literally that'll block out everything else besides listening. You're using your senses of listening, and people, you know what? I mean, I just saw a post on Facebook again of, people trying to get rid of guns and trying to do this and do that. But you know what? The end result really people are finding out is people aren't being listened to. So they go and they take and do nasty things to be heard of or listened to. And that's what's really daunting our society, right? Is we're not being heard and we're not being listened. And you contributed by doing that. And I did it as well. And I'm sure many people out there are doing it as well. So continue to do it. And wow, this is great. I'm having fun.
Yeah. Well, me too. And, I just thought of something else. You had mentioned the blindfold, which is one great idea. But then there's this other idea. I've seen it on YouTube. There's this channel called The Liberators. You guys should really look it up. It's amazing, right? So they do these experiments where they go to like a mall or somewhere, and they have these signs that say, where is the human connection gone? And then they say, try 1 minute of eye contact. Yep. So, say I'm there and I'm working it, right? And then you sit down across from me. And then for 1 minute, we just stare into each other's eyes. We don't talk. We don't do anything, no distractions. And people just start having tears running down their eyes. I mean, they just, at the end, they hug, and it's so touching. And again, it's being vulnerable, connecting.
I had gone to a 4-day seminar that's similar to Tony Robbins, and we had to do that for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. We had to do that. And it was hard for me because I had a beautiful woman across from me. So I was like, I was trying to not like do that thing, and it's like 10 minutes of this. And it was, oh my God, man, talk about being opened up. Like you're just like naked right there. You're like, there's no, like, you can't, because your eyes just tell everything, right? You're just in like, oh my God, it's really, definitely, I mean, something that's like a weekend fun thing to do, but, instead of playing poker, you play, eye contact game or something, but, yeah, that is a remarkable thing. I mean, it's remarkable. Do you use any of that kind of technique on your clients at all? Or?
I haven't yet, but I definitely think it would be great to use it. Now, I've had it done to me in a coaching session. I have my own coach who's phenomenal, by the way.
Yep.
And she has studied trance work. She's been to this out in California. It's called Trance Camp, and she raves about it. And
Wow.
so she's done some of that with me, and we've done Skype sessions where she just says, relax your jaw, relax your face, relax your hands, just let everything fall, just let your eyes blur out. And she just sits on the other end and she just holds the space for you. And I mean, I'm going to tell you, I felt so naked, like you said, so naked, so uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm so used to holding my face in a way. And I'm so used to like, we put these layers on and these masks and it makes us feel somewhat safe or secure. And when you take all that out and you just have this other human being on the other end, just looking at you, it's like, it's so scary. But at the end of the day, I told her, I said, as much as I felt uncomfortable, I equally loved it. And I really felt like it was the most powerful experience of the whole coaching with her, because I learned that I don't have enough connection in my life. And ever since then, I've been on a mission to just connect more.
Yeah, it's great.
And
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I saw some article somewhere about this in San Francisco, which is the .com place. And there's some offices over there now that they actually show up to work and they work in a naked environment. Everybody's at their desks naked.
Like completely no clothes.
No clothes, women, men, everything in this naked environment. I saw pictures and everything. And but their acceleration in work and quality and communication is like 100 times better because of the whole idea, right? The whole idea of I have nothing to hide anymore. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about guys, staring at me and girls vice versa. It's like, it's over. It's all there. It's all out there to look at. But it's funny. You're right. We're talking about, we have layers and layers and layers that we have to unwind. And that's why more and more people are looking for life coaches. And I wanted to point out something too that you had talked about there is you even have a life coach. So that shows that everybody needs somebody in that life to support them. And I guess before we kind of wanted that to be friends, but sometimes that's just not happening. I mean, in school, they should be teaching this kind of stuff, shouldn't they? I mean, instead of mathematics, it's like, it's so much more important to us to be open and communicate and so on and so forth. Because you never know, obviously, you never know what's on the other side. And obviously life tells us, well, you got to be careful about this person and that person. It's like, do we really? Do we really? If you open up to anybody, they're not going to be, if you can get a person to open up as well, then they're not going to be a threat, right?
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, we're already at that point. It's
past
20 minutes. And,
okay.
We can keep going though. If you want to keep going, I have plenty of time. Yeah. So let's dive into some goals. Do you have for your life, or what do you want to share with anything you want to share with the world that's beyond you already shared a bunch, but anything else you kind of think of that's on top of your list?
Wow.
Besides it's cold in Philadelphia right now?
I know. Speaking of that, I actually would love to live in Hawaii for at least part of the year. I was going to say that's one of my goals, is to spend part of the year over in Hawaii. I do have some family there.
Nice.
And so that definitely is something that's on the list.
Yeah. I'm halfway there. I'm in California. I'm in your stop to get there. But yeah, I really, truly, I mean, if you look at I'm looking at palm trees and waterfalls, and it's a Hawaiian looking thing out here. But I really love we had our first cold day of the year today, and it was cold. I got this thing on, and I usually have a t-shirt on, and it's like, oh, it's so cold. But yeah, we've been nice and warm out here. But I mean, Hawaii is just, I've been there once, and it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful place.
Yeah. It is. It's magical. It definitely, like the first day I was there, I was like, really? I just flew all this extra time over the ocean I could have gone to California. That's what it felt like. But the longer I was there, and I went snorkeling, and I went up to Hana, and that's like that's where they filmed Jurassic Park. It is truly a magical place. Yeah. It really is. So, but I love California too. I lived in California, actually.
What part?
I lived in Lake Tahoe for 2 years.
Okay.
And I lived in LA as well for a year.
The concrete jungle. They got two different jungles there: the mountain jungle and the concrete jungle.
Yeah. Yep. So.
San Diego. I'm in San Diego, and it's much more hilly here, and we did not have traffic like LA until now.
Yeah.
We're really starting to get more congested down here, and it's kind of like yesterday. I actually I was on the road for an hour, which never used to happen. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm being welcomed to the LA lifestyle here. But
yeah.
Awesome. So what's your next video that you're going to be putting on Facebook? Why don't you give my audience what's your next insider video?
I know. Wow. Well, I've been doing one a week.
Yep.
So I'm not sure, it's like, I just wait to get inspired. I'm always listening to books. I'm watching all these videos on YouTube, podcasts, all that. And then I get inspired and I just feel like I have something to share. And I get out there and I make it and awesome. I put it up there. So
I love the creativity. I really do. It's awesome. What are some of the books you're reading right now?
Okay, so I just started Elizabeth Gilbert's new book about living a creative life. The name is escaping me, but it's her newest book about living creatively.
Right.
So I'm reading that, but I've read so many books and I listen to a lot of, I don't know if anybody listens to Audible, but I absolutely love it.
I'm listening right now. It's called The Science of Getting Rich, and it's kind of beyond. It's kind of beyond getting rich. It's got so much insight to everything we do in our lives, and I just love it. It's like a Bible to me. It's like I just listen to a little piece every day. I'll just take the dial on my iPhone and I'll just put it to a certain section and just that like resonates with me totally for that day. It's just so weird. It's like magical in its own way, but it's so great that we have all these resources available to us. It's so great that we have people like yourself, realizing your skills and trying to apply them to other people's lives. And I want to be thankful that you are doing that for the world and you're giving people, a chance to find themselves, giving themselves a chance to relax from, the stress of their day with your massaging and everything. So that's great. I want to condone you for that. Condone you for that. What is that? But for doing that, and that's awesome. And also, thank you so much for coming on my podcast here today. That's really great. So you didn't know me, I didn't know you, and here we are. We're having a great conversation. So so we're gonna end it here with you giving one last statement to the world about what you want to share. So anything, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but anything you want to share, go for it.
Okay, I just want to say that. What just came to me right away was just get out there and enjoy your life and just know that behind every fear is a desire. Yep. So whatever it is you're afraid of, you're actually desiring that. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one. I've never heard that one. That's good.
Yeah.
So every fear, everybody, behind it is a desire. So an opportunity, a desire, and something exciting. Awesome.
Yes.
So I thank you again, and thank you, 5 Minute Bark. All right, Inspired Nation. We're so glad that you were listening here today, and we look forward to talking. Hopefully, we'll have Katie again on our show, and we'll have more progress from her and more progress from me, and it'll be exciting. So we're going to end it right here, and thank you, everybody out there.
Thank you.